I'm shooting this video on my eyesight because I'm lazy to set up my DSLR and clean up my office background and lighting and all that good stuff. YouTuber problem. Hey guys, Adrian Kid Guru here, and I've been gone for 2 weeks traveling in the Philippines, as you can tell by the luggage, which is still unpacked. The holidays rolled around, so happy belated holidays and an extended Happy New Year's to you and yours. And if you're watching this months, weeks, days down the road, I hope you're having a great day. Anyways, I am back. I am getting into the spin of things. And yesterday, as I was on Twitter, much too often than I should be while I'm working, I tweeted these two things. Never understood complaining over what other people have or choices that make them happy, be it cars, computers, clothes, or whatever. Either A, work/save for it, B, be happy with what you have, C, respect others' choices. What won't get you anything ever equals shit talking online. Excuse my language. But nonetheless, I tweeted this because I had seen a flurry of tweets on my timeline, in part because of the people I follow, which I fixed that problem very quickly, and in another part just because Twitter nowadays shows you like the people who you follow type thing. It's really weird. But yeah, there was this conversation ongoing, and the whole topic behind it really, in essence, was people getting upset over the choices of others, and that's what this video is about. The choices others, keyword being others, make, and why that should have no influence on you whatsoever. I think growing up, this is something I've never really kind of understood. I couldn't wrap my head around why people think like this entirely and stuff like that. And to be honest, when I was younger, I was the same way. I was like these sort of people who would talk about what other people have, and maybe it's because they're envious or jealous, or envious and jealous, or just angry at what other people have because they don't have it, or because they want it, or because they think that person isn't good enough. You see it a lot when people are passionate about the same thing or have interest in the same thing, whether it's cars, clothes, computers, whatever. People tend to get upset over what other people do or have. It could be materialistically, the physical things that they buy or they spend their money and time on, or it could just be choices in the way that people live their life. That people want to get upset about. But for me anyways, like when I was starting out doing these videos on computers, I used to do this series called Mac versus PC, which was a big hit back in the days. And this light bulb went off to me when I would realize that, and it wasn't an age thing, like I said, it's more of maturity with experience. I learned that, like, you know what, at the end of the day, the best computer, like, I can give my opinions, there's nothing wrong with that, and pros and cons about stuff. But to critique people for the things they use, at the end of the day, the best computer for them is what works best for them. It could be a Mac, it could be a PC, it could be an iPhone, it could be an Android phone. And that really applies to anything else in life. And the cardinal rule being, what people don't seem to understand is that if something makes somebody happy and they are not inflicting harm on anybody else in any shape or form, then it shouldn't bother you in the slightest. There should be no weight on you at all. And like honestly, like I saw this when I was growing up, as far as like it could be the clothes. When I was growing up, as people do, they develop their own sense of fashion and style and things of that nature. But what I realized is, like, why should how I dress bother other people? Like, people used to ask me, like, oh, well, why do you wear that all the time if you just work from home? Or, like, why do you always want to dress up? Like, why does that bother you? That's, like, to me, it's one of the most ridiculous questions. Why should it bother you what I look like, what I physically put on? If I enjoy it, then, like, let's leave it at that. To each their own. There's nothing wrong with constructive criticism and things of that nature. And yeah, sometimes people argue for argument's sake. I understand the irony behind me doing this video in itself. But it's something that matters to me because it really is this new level of immaturity. It's this ridiculousness that people want to give other people crap for things that make them genuinely happy. I grew up with friends in high school that were into cars, for example. Like, they were passionate about it. That's really cool. That's where they spent their time and money. I grew up in that kind of like community of people. But at the same time, on the flip side, I would see people get upset over other people's choices of cars and things of that nature. I would see people shit talk other people because of things that they had, and I still see it today. And I can never fathom ever in those conversations, like, why does that bother you? Is that person deliberately or like directly insulting you? Like, I understand when it's different, when people are talking up a big game. But if that person is doing nothing to like directly harm you or insult you or whatever, why does what they have bother you? Is it because you want it so much? Like, I see people go online and complain because, oh, they have this and this and they wasted their money. That's not your money. Why does that bother you? Like it's clearly somebody else's money. I don't care if it came from their parents. I don't care where it came from. You don't know the story behind that. Why does it bother you? Like, why does that even, if you want it so bad, stop shit talking about it. Stop, taking shots at them and work for it. Save up for it. I don't know. Like, it's ridiculous that people are like that. When I was growing up, for example, with watches, I'm a huge fan of watches nowadays. I want to collect as much as I can and things of that nature. I got my first watch from my dad. It was an Alini watch and then a Movado watch after that. I still have that Movado watch in my collection today. But I remember being given those watches and even the first time I wore his Rolex, the weight of it, the craftsmanship that went into it. Like, I developed my own sense of appreciation for those finer things in life. And that steered me to wanting to create my own collection and buy my own things and be able to have something to call mine. And it's because of that appreciation from the things that he gave me. And people don't see that. And it's the same thing with everybody else. People just want to jump to conclusions about whatever. And like, why does that bother you? Like, it literally harms you in no way, shape, or form. I was at the aquarium just this past weekend here in Okinawa, Japan, and there's a part of it that is iconic because it has like a big tank and there's whale sharks and there's massive amounts of fishes in there. And I remember my dad was saying to somebody, we were with family friends, like, it's amazing how they can all coexist in this confined space. And if you think of it outside looking in, it's the same way we are. We're all these human beings on this planet Earth and we have to coexist. That's a big part of how we live in life. And I think a bigger part of coexisting is coming to the terms that if people have choices in life, we need to learn to respect them if it makes them happy and they're not harming anybody. That can be the clothes they wear, that can be the things they buy, the lifestyle they choose to live, the people they choose to love and like and marry, whatever race, whatever gender. Because I think you live better that way and there's less conflict. And these things literally have no impact in how you live your life and how you choose to live yours. Do what you want to do, buy the things you want to buy, live the life you want to live. As long as you're not harming anybody else to do the things that you want to do, then you shouldn't let anybody else, influence you in what you want to do. Yes, there's room for constructive criticism. Yes, there's room for like other people giving their opinions on things. But to go online and to bitch and moan about what other people have and the choices they make and the things that they do, it's ridiculous. It is all these other words that I don't even want to say right now, but it's something that we need to rid ourselves of not just a generation, but as of the human race in general, something that we need to rid ourselves of. The internet is this amazing thing that's happened to my generation. It's one of the most amazing things, but at the same time, it's also one of the worst in the fact that kids can go online and just, blurt all this stuff out there. It really is crazy. And I think I'll leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed. It's good to be back. I look forward to making a lot more content. And as always, thanks for watching.